I'm Bev Adams. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. I'd like to show you this birthday card. It's so lovely with the Butterfly Basics. And if you get Butterfly Basics stamp set and Butterfly Thinlit dies, you will save 15%. Let's get started. We're going to start this card by using the Butterfly Basics Thinlit. We're going to use the middle size. And with so many different little holes in here, I used to run screaming when I saw these. I love the way they look, but I hated to pick out and poke all the pieces. And I've been seeing a clever way of working with that. You're going to use cheap dryer sheets, and I have it folded in half for 2 layers. That goes on your clear cutting plate. On top of that, you're going to put your cardstock, and you're going to put wax paper on top of that, followed by your Thinlit, followed by your other cutting plate, and run that through the Big Shot. And what that does is the wax paper keeps the cardstock from getting stuck in the framelit, and the dryer sheet, fabric softener sheet, kind of collects them. It's a little bit sticky, and so it kind of sticks to the little holes, so that when you pull it off, all those little pieces either come right out or are very easy. And the wax paper, sometimes you get this layer of wax paper. I don't think it's on there right now. Yeah, the wax paper stayed stuck to the framelit, but it will also come out very easily. And so it's a very easy way of working with these delicate framelits. Love it. Now that I have my butterfly cut out, I can go on to the card. I have a 5.5 by 8.5 cardstock. This is Soft Sky. And another layer this layer is 2.25 by 3.25. I have 2 layers of cardstock, one for the outside and one for the inside, and these are each 5 1/4 by 4, so my largest kind of standard layer. And I have a layer that's just a little bit smaller than the Soft Sky layer. This is 2 by 3. And the Soft Saffron is what I cut my butterfly with, and that was my cardstock was 2.5 by 3.5, but whatever scraps you have. On one of my large sheets, I'm going to stamp, and I'm using all of my some of my favorite Subtles colors: Wisteria Wonder, Wild Wasabi. I have So Saffron, and my card is Soft Sky. This stamp is available in wood mount, clear mount, or photopolymer. Since I have the photopolymer, I'm going to go ahead and put my Stampin' Pierce mat under my paper. You're probably going to want the eye block for this stamp. It's nice and tall. And I'm going to stamp the fern 2 times. And that Stampin' Pierce mat gives enough padding so that I get a nice impression. And with the photopolymer, you can actually see that it's getting all the areas. This is doubling up, but I'm going to be actually covering up that part, so it doesn't really matter. Next, I'm going to stamp the flower image, and I'm going to ink it with the Wild Wasabi, but I want the flowers in Wisteria Wonder, so I'm using my blender pen to remove most of the ink from the flowers. That top one, I really kind of went off the edge of the stamp mat, so there's probably not too much ink on that flower, but I want to make sure and take off the ink off the other flowers. And I'm going to use my Wisteria Wonder marker to ink the flowers. Now you could just use your Wild Wasabi marker to ink the stems if you want, the same way. And a little huff. The breath of life. And I have my flowers. I'm inking this kind of netting. I don't know, maybe it's beeswax, maybe, I don't know. Stamping just on the edges, just to add a little bit of that color. Stamping my greeting on the white Whisper white paper. Sending wishes your way, and I'm stamping in the bottom left of this layer. And on the inside layer of Whisper White cardstock, I'm going to stamp Happy Birthday. This is also in Wisteria Wonder, and with So Saffron, I'm going to stamp, there's a long border. I'm going to stamp the long border. Make sure I'm on the mat underneath here. And I think I'm going to stamp this border on my envelope. Let's see, how about back here? Tie a bow around the piece of Whisper White cardstock. When you first tie your bow, it doesn't really matter where it is because you can kind of wrap it around. And I use an alligator clip to help give myself another hand. Tying a bow on video is always a challenge. I'm pretty happy with this one. Trim the ends. And I'm just sliding this up closer to the top of my card. Going to adhere this to the inside of my card. You can see my oopsie over here. And I'm just trying to get it centered. The border's pretty even. Center my greeting. On my soft sky. I want to use dimensionals for this layer. And I'm trying to decide whether I want to center it to have the left edge, which I like very much, or maybe center it with these borders the same and not worrying about that one. I think I'm going to do that, like so. And now I just need to put my butterfly on my card, and I'm using glue dots. And I'm just putting the glue dots on the body of the butterfly. And I want to make sure it doesn't go off the edge of my card. And I just need to put my inside layer. And there's my card, sending wishes your way, happy birthday, with a decorated envelope. Thank you for coming by.